Well, good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream. I'm brought to you by Hope Through Navigation. And this is our H.O.O.D Recovery Services. H.O.O.D is an acronym, H-O-O-D, that stands for Hope Offered on Demand. And I am creating content daily so that in a year's time, you will have an application on your phone and you will be able to pull up anything that you want to hear recovery topics about. So I'm looking forward to having that completed. Very soon in the month of July, I will be doing some interviews and we will be posting those as well to our page here on YouTube. Now, if you need to reach me, one last thing, if you need to reach me, please do so by Gmail at recoveryofhope21@gmail.com. Well, let's get into the reading. Let me open that up for you. Change and Growth is the title for the June 27th, just for today, on page 185 of the meditation book. When someone points out a shortcoming, our first reaction may be defensive. There will always be room for growth. Basic text, page 36. Recovery is a process that brings about change in our lives. We need that change if we are to continue our growth toward freedom. It's important that we remain open-minded when others point out our shortcomings, for they are bringing to light opportunities for us to change and grow. Reacting defensively limits our ability to receive the help they are offering us. Letting go of our defenses opens the door to change, growth, and new freedom. Each day in the recovery process, will bring an opportunity for further change and growth. The more we learn to greet change with an open mind and heart, the more we will grow and the more comfortable we will become with our recovery. Just for today, I will greet each opportunity for growth with an open mind. Let's take a moment of silence, followed by the we version of Serenity prayer. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Oh, I miss saying that serenity prayer on a regular basis on here. And it never fails when I say it, that there's a sense of calm that I get. I think it's very important to say to everyone listening or that is going to listen to this June 27th, just for today, in a meditation, is that change is a given. Change is going to come. I guarantee you, if you sit where you are right now and you don't do anything but breathe, relieve yourself, go to the bathroom and go back to bed, I guarantee you that without your permission, change will have taken place with your approval or without it. It is one of those constants. We cannot get away from change. If you're anything like me, look at your gray hair and realize that you're growing older every day. You're changing every day. Even the texture and the color of your hair is changing. From the moment of inception to the point of your last breath, you will change every day, with or without your permission. And so will the people around you. and so will the universe. Now, there's seasons that seem to be similar and the same, but no two winters will ever be the same. Every time we approach winter time, a change is going to happen, right? We have seasons in our lives where we also change, right? Where things fall away. Did you know that you shed skin regularly? Right? It's a part of that renewal process. So as things shed away, go away, there's still this regrowth that takes place. And we barely even notice it because it's so microscopic, the changes that we see. So is it easier to accept change, or is it easier to resist it? Right? You can certainly work along with it in accepting it. As I accept that I am, past 50 years old, I accept that my body is not the same as it was when I first came to the program nearly 29 years ago. The skin looks different. Everything is different about me. I have changed. But fortunately, I have also grown up. So the topic in this Just for Today in a meditation is that people will have a tendency to point out our shortcomings. And it's quite natural to get offended by those, right? We become defensive. How dare you? You think I'm cold because I don't walk into a room hugging everybody? You think I'm mean, right? Especially post-pandemic, right? People will say, well, she come to the meetings, but she's not very outgoing. Yeah, because I realized that a lot of people have the disposition that they don't care if they're 6 feet away from you. They don't care if they have a mask, and they don't care if they're vaccinated or not, right? So I have to come there with the mind and the intention to protect my health as it's already compromised, right? And so I could be defensive about that, or I can take a look at it, weigh it out. In this current day and age, I would say, no, I might be distant, but I'm not mean, right? And you can determine whether or not the person, whatever they're pointing out to you, whatever it is, you have the right and the responsibility to look at it, weigh it out, and determine, is this something that goes into the acceptance pile, or this goes into the reject pile, right? And if there's some truth to it, even though you may have initially been defensive, once you analyze it, if you see that there is some truth to what they've said, my goodness, how much gratitude should we have for the individual that dares to approach us? And I say dare because a lot of times people, they don't know how you're going to receive something. Maybe they feel like they're just being obedient to the God of their understanding, and they need to let you know that this particular behavior is very prideful and inappropriate. Maybe they're struggling to come to you and say that. And then you bite their head off because how dare you? How dare you think that you can walk up to me and tell me how I need to be in a meeting or whatever it is they're sharing with you. So the first reaction is normally defensive. I think that's quite human, but we can use this as an opportunity to grow, to become more relational. Then we were before we learned the information, how our shortcoming is affecting other people. If it has some weight to it, why don't we just agree today that we'll hear the person out? Okay, I understand that you think that's how I am, but give me an example other than just being careful because of COVID-19. Give me an example that you can tell me. You saw me act in a manner that was unwarm or unkind or unfriendly. Do you have any examples? No, I really don't. It's just the way you frown up when people share certain things. I'm always noticing your micro facial expressions. And you seem, repelled by what the individual is saying. Well, why are you watching me that close anyway? Okay, so I need a better poker face, but that's all you got? You never heard me cuss anybody out. You never saw me refuse to hug anybody. That's all you have? Okay. Okay. Well, I'm gonna make a suggestion in return to your suggestion. Mind your own business, right? Enjoy the beating. Don't lose focus of why you're there because I'm not. Okay. That's just one example. And it is one that has been levied against me before, right? And primarily, I would say in those instances that they would be able to point to, I am very serious about the atmosphere of recovery. And I am very serious about no meeting that I'm chairing being disturbed by violent or threatening behavior. Okay. So maybe it has some weight or maybe it doesn't, but that's for you to figure out. And it's for you to figure out how you're going to be less defensive. I want you to do that. I want you to do that today. Make up your mind that when people come to me, I'm going to let them approach and I'm going to let them have the peace of mind of being able to say what they need to say. Now, hopefully they have given some thought to how they approach me and what they're going to say, because I'm not for verbal abuse, right? Or physical abuse or threatening behavior, but I'm going to allow them to express themselves. And then when they're done, if I'm noticing something in me that's offended or something like that, I'm not even going to respond in that moment. I'm going to simply say, thank you for sharing. I'll take it into consideration. And you don't have to be nasty about it. Thank you for sharing. And I'm going to give it some thought, right? And then if you give it some thought actually, and you understand that what they're saying is true, maybe when you see them again, hey, let me pull you aside a second. You know, the last time I saw you, you mentioned thus and so. And I did think about it. And I actually was able to see where a person would get the impression that you got. And one, I want to tell you, I'm sorry because I'm not like that. I was having a bad day. And my responses were so automatic. I really wasn't even thinking about that. But I want to just say to you, thank you for taking a risk and coming to me and saying that. I wish more people would take a risk and come talk to me and find out who I am, right? So that's just an ideal. You know, that's something that I would want for you because it is an opportunity for growth. As I started out saying, change is inevitable. With or without your permission, change is going to happen. But our growing, our personal growth, we have a little bit more say in that end of it. And I would wish today that you would be open-minded, which is really the topic here, is to be open-minded enough to what other people have to say in regards to you. No man is an island and self-sufficiency is a lie. A lot of times we back ourselves up into a corner that we can't get out of clean, or we can't get out of it with peace, because we have pushed so many people away from us. I was talking to a young lady, I don't know how young she is, but I was talking to a lady yesterday, and we're pretty familiar with each other. We've known each other for the majority of our lives. And the discussion was about self-discovery. How do we take every situation that we encounter and learn from it? Make it a matter of our personal growth, where we own our responsibility, our side of the street. We make the changes that we need to make, and to do it without having a chip on our shoulders. How can we have conversations with individuals and walk away with the significant part of it, the important part of it, and grow from it without having to be responsible for making sure we or they say everything the right way? A lot of times people don't know how to speak with diplomacy, right? They just know what they see and they put it out there and they expect everyone to catch that. Well, everyone doesn't have to be responsive to your attitude. But how can we, she and I were discussing this, how can we do life better and enjoy it more and let people decide if they want to be a part of our lives on a day-to-day basis or not, right? I want that for you. Take a look at that. And if you get a revelation about this just for today in a meditation and how you can apply it, send it to me and tell me, MightyStream, I listened to your June 27th, and this is what I'm thinking. You know, my children say to me that I'm still babying them. I'm still treating them like they're little kids, and they're in their 30s and 40s now. And there's some truth to that, because I still want their life to work out well, whatever it is. Wherever you see that you can apply this, I want to increase our dialogue, because now we're developing a small community of us individuals that share this just for today in a meditation together. And I would love for there to be a platform where we're able to have a discussion. Reach out to me at recoveryofhope21@gmail.com. I am here in Iowa. My stepmother passed away on Saturday morning, and I am here to check on my father, my biological father, and I am here to check on my siblings and spread the love, because if nothing else, I'm probably very neutral because I was not raised by her. However, I know my siblings are suffering deeply. And that's why I'm here in Iowa, to love up on them, to check on my father. They've been together over 50 years. Well, not over 50 years, let's say probably like 45 years. And I just really want to make sure that everyone's going to be okay. Because I'm sure she is, right? So everyone's dealing with something. I'd be interested in knowing what you're dealing with and how you're applying the 12 steps and the principles therein to your day-to-day living. My name is MightyStream, and I will be talking to you tomorrow.